here's the thing. Your talent technically can't do anything for them other than that moment that you sing, other than the moment that you play, other than the moment that your video comes on. And when they buy into your thing, then your talent can continue to draw them in. But what keeps them there is the other people. Let me first kind of give you a backstory of why you need a community now. And I'm going to talk about a specific post, not even a post, a comment that I made on somebody's webpage or Instagram post. This post was, I believe it was will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas. And he was talking about why musicians are struggling to make money. And he said something to the effect that the music industry really wasn't invented to sell music, that most people made music and then they sold ads with the music, or the record players were designed to sell equipment and so on. So this was the thing that he was trying to make clear, that music and musicians have to make money in other ways other than just the direct buy my song. Now, a lot of people were annoyed with that particular clip. That was an old clip probably. But I got on and I commented, and I won't read my entire comment. You can go into Jazz Memes if you want to see my comment. But basically I told them that will.i.am is right. We are not in the business, musicians ourselves and artists in general. We don't sell art. We sell what art makes possible. Let me say that again to make sure you heard me so you don't think I'm like being crazy. We do not sell art. We know art and our abilities is priceless. You can't pay us for it. It's not, my music is not for sale because my music doesn't come just from me. It comes from God. So really, on a purest form, art is truly priceless. There's no price you can put on it. But what you can put a price on is what it makes possible. What products make it possible. What feelings it makes possible. What experiences music and art makes possible. That's what you can sell. So that's basically what I was making the point of. So do you know 166 people? I don't know how many people liked the post, but 166 people liked my comment. That's insane. I've never seen a comment I've never even had a lot. Most of my likes, I don't get that many likes on my Instagram, but I got 166 likes on a comment. So this means I must have struck a nerve. So what am I bringing this up in terms of community? Well, one of the things that creatives are finding out all too quickly is that just selling their work is not enough. Just trying to go viral is not enough. You are struggling, you're pushing yourself, and you're beating your head against the wall because you're trying to make something out of nothing when it comes to selling your art, creating products, making live streams like this one. And what you're missing is the reason that you're not going anywhere is because you have not built the one thing that will make all those other things possible. And that is a community. So let's talk about the 5 reasons why you must build a community now. Now, some of y'all in this live stream, I'm going to cut off for a second. Mimi knows this. Mimi, if you're watching, you already know this. Okay? And some of my other friends here that I've seen, Keith, some of you have already built communities. So I know I'm preaching to the choir, but this is for those who are watching who have not yet built a community and say, well, what do I need a community for? I just need to go out there and make stuff and do stuff and build stuff and create music and art. And then the people will come. If you build it, they will come, right? Not necessarily. So let's talk about the 5 reasons why you got to build a community now. This is going to hurt, but so did my comment. So I figured let me just stick with it. Reason number 1. This may hurt if you're listening and not reading it. If you're reading it, it may hurt just to read it. Your talent isn't what people want. How in the world can I make such a statement? Your talent isn't what people want. Wasn't Michael Jackson insanely talented? Wasn't Prince insanely talented? Aren't the stars of today insanely talented? Isn't talent the first thing that draws people in? Well, your talent is what catches their eye. But what your talent does is simply get them in the door. But you'll see plenty of talented people who people see, oh, they're amazing, and then just keep on moving. They'll go by their TikTok, say, oh my gosh, she's so talented, but they'll never stick with that person. Why? Because your talent isn't what people want. What they want is connection and meaning. What people want is meaning and connection. More than they want just your talent, which is their eye. But what your talent does is simply get them in the door. But you'll see plenty of talented people who people see, oh, they're amazing, and then just keep on moving. They'll go by their TikTok, say, oh my gosh, she's so talented, but they'll never stick with that person. Why? Because your talent isn't what people want. What they want is connection and meaning. What people want is meaning and connection. More than they want just your talent. Because here's the thing, your talent technically can't do anything for them other than that moment that you sing, other than the moment that you play, other than the moment that your video comes on. Those things are temporary. It can happen for a minute and then it's gone. What do people do after the video is over? What do people do after your song is over? What do people do after the poem is over? Well, that happens. Y'all been to every single workplace cooler, water cooler. You've been there in the schoolroom. What are people doing? They are talking about what just happened. They are talking about the latest Netflix thing. They are talking. So what people want more than simply the actual thing you made is the effect of the thing you made. That's what they really want. They don't necessarily just want to watch an amazing movie, Avengers, whatever, you name it. The universe around it that the social construct creates is what they want more than even the thing. And when they buy into your thing, then your talent can continue to draw them in. But what keeps them there is the other people. This is why you need to build a community now, because if you are relying on your talent, you are going to be in more and more competition, constant competition to try to out-talent people. And let me tell you, that's a losing game because me, you, everybody, there's somebody out there that's more talented. That is not a dig at you. It's just a fact. There are people that are more talented, but you have to stick with the fact that you create something that people want to be around after you're done singing, after you're done performing, after you've made the thing. They have something to hang on to. So what people really want is not your talent alone. They want the connection and they want the message and the meaning that creates this kind of feeling that what I watched, what I heard, now kind of keeps going with me. That's what people really want. Talking. Let's move on to reason number 2, why you need a community as a creative right now. You got to build it right away. Reason number 2 is you need momentum from a mission. This kind of goes, all these go very much hand in hand. But if you have been stuck kind of feeling like I can't get anybody to pay attention to my stuff, I can't seem to get any traction on social media, I do concerts and I don't know if anyone's buying tickets, I don't know if there's what you're really struggling with is you're trying to push that big rock of momentum up the hill and you can't do it by yourself. And once again, what actually creates momentum for creatives is not just fancy artwork, is not just a logo, is not just your website. What creates momentum is a mission, something that your art is about, not the art itself. So we just said it. People don't necessarily want talent. They want something after the talent that connects them. So now what connects them with a momentum is the mission that they share with you. Now, how do you get people to actually care about what you want? Now, you might say, I want them to love the music. I want them to love the art. I want them to go forward. I want them to be inspired. Well, yes. But Andy Andrews said 2 things about change. There's only 2 things that will make someone change. Proof beyond a reasonable doubt and what's in it for me. proof beyond reasonable doubt, and what's in it for me. So people that you want to join you and to connect with your community need to know what's in it for me. What's the mission? What am I connecting to that makes me want to see and follow and buy tickets and do that? What are you about? And so the reason why you need a community is because the momentum comes when people are joining your mission. And when they're joining your mission, they're much more likely to connect with your art because your art is helping to lead the way of the mission. It's the same thing in evangelistic terms. We always say this about choirs, right? About praise teams. The praisers go first. Well, why does God always make the praisers go first? It's because people follow the music because the music is declaring the mission. Are you following me? The music declares the mission, and the mission creates momentum from the people behind that are following the musicians. We get this crossed up all the time, musicians in church. I'm very sorry, but you have to remember the music is not the point. The worship service is not just because worship. It is only a vehicle to get the people thinking about the mission. The same thing is true in secular fields or any other area you are in. Your artwork declares the mission, and then the people buy in, and then it creates momentum because they are now buying into your mission for your creative art. If you're not doing that, you are stuck and you are going to feel more and more like you don't have any momentum in your creative life. This is why you need a community right away. I'm going to keep moving because I want to make sure I use your time wisely. Let's talk about social media. The third reason why you need a community now is because social media doesn't help you connect with people unless, in parentheses. Social media, as we all know, I'm using it right now, is designed for one thing, is to keep your eyeballs going to the next thing. If you're not going to watch this video, Instagram's about to show you something else that it hopes you will watch and continue to watch. And if you scroll, it's going to show you something else that you hope you'll watch. Why is this not helping you connect? Because Instagram has no goal of your own particular community to stay connected. Not if they're not going to watch. Not if they're not going to stay focused. Not if they're not going to fulfill the goals of Instagram and Facebook. That's not their goal. Their goal is to keep people watching and continually consuming more content. It is not designed for them to connect. Again, here's the unless. Unless, and here's where we have to decide, what are we going to use social media for? Are you going to use social media to attempt to go viral? Or are you going to use social media to go deeper in connection with individual people? Because that is the only way social media can help you connect. It is in that follow-up. Pat Flynn says this all the time. He's an absolutely famous and influential marketer that I follow. He's one of the first courses I bought was from Pat Flynn. And he says, and I think many others have said after that, the fortune is in the follow-up. If you are not responding to every single like, every single comment, if you are not constantly replying, constantly going back to DMs, no matter who the person is, and simply saying, thank you for watching, thank you for posting, what do you think? If you are not going deeper with your social media, but simply looking at the like button, social media is not helping you, and therefore you feel like you're stuck and you have no community to back you up. Social media is not the place to build community unless you commit to community. Is this making sense? If this is making sense, let me get a heart or a like, because sometimes I get talking and I'm rambling. I want to make sure that I'm tracking with you guys. But this is making sense that social media is not helpful unless you are making connections. I'll give you some examples. Our current, one of the podcasts I work with right now, is tracking up to about 10,000 followers right now. But do you know that every single time that somebody's joined, I've tried to do this and I tried to automate it, but automating didn't work. If they follow us and they have a public profile, I send a message saying, thank you for following me. And like I said, we're going into 10,000s. So I might have to get some help. But I am responding directly. When someone sends in a direct message, we are responding directly to that direct message every single time. And now that podcast is now top 25 in the Spotify rankings for religion. It was already there, so I can't take credit for that, but I do feel that we're working hard to deepen the connections through social media, through our Facebook page, same thing on the Guide and Gigs page, same thing on my other pages. We deepen connections through social media. We do not go wide. We try to go deeper, and that has worked for us. So I would suggest that you need this if you're going to stick on social media at all. Make sure you're going deeper, because social media does not help you connect unless you go deep. I hope this is helping. Let's move on to number 4. The fourth reason why you need to build a community, Mr., Mrs. Creative, right now, is because authenticity is becoming priceless. And yes, we are talking about those famous words, AI. Have y'all noticed how few times you can look at a post and be sure it's real? I will not talk about the election at all on these posts. I will simply use it as an example of where people are super skeptical of anything that they don't touch themselves, see themselves, sense themselves. It's like we're in the Matrix, y'all. Any of my friends that still remember the Matrix, I feel like that's like an old movie now, like a classic old movie. But I feel like we're in the Matrix when it comes to AI, because we are erasing the line between what is real and what is false, and nobody believes anything. So authenticity is becoming a superpower. Being real and people knowing that you are who you say you are, that you said what you said, that you sang what you really sang, that this video wasn't doctored. Authenticity is becoming priceless. So you need to build a community now, because otherwise, guess what? People are going to start to question your authenticity. They're not going to know for sure if that's you. If they don't know you, they're not going to be sure that's your video. If they haven't been in an interaction with you, they're not even going to be sure. You can't be sure that these are my words. I'm being honest. Not deep fake. I'm not a deep fake, but I could say that and it could be a deep fake. How's the only way you're going to know that this is really me on this video? It's because my community does know. It's because those that know me. And those who know me and know my creative life and know what I'm creating vouch for me. So that means when something comes up that somebody says, oh my gosh, said this or that, or some AI thing, whatever, the people that are in your community will be the ones that defend you and keep you from being sucked into this AI craziness where nobody believes what you create is really you. So you've got to build a community now, because before you know it, people are going to question the authenticity of pretty much every artist, unless they were in the concert, unless they know the person that was there at the concert, unless they trust the people that are there. You're going to find out that you will be harder and harder. It will be harder and harder for you to really prove that you are who you say you are, that your stuff is legit. You need a community like stacked, because otherwise you're going to be running up against, again, a bunch of robots, a bunch of fakes, a bunch of things. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm just saying this because it's true. Podcasters, I'm in this thing with a lot of podcasters who are dealing with AI voices. Some are saying, yes, let's do AI voices. Other people are saying this is exactly what we don't want, because now people can just copy my voice and they don't know it's really me. And I tend to lean on that side. I tend to lean on the side where, you know what? AI is great for a lot of things, but I want this to be me every time you hear it. I never want it to be where you're not sure that this was really my voice or my words to you. So authenticity is becoming priceless, and you're going to need a community for that. So that's why you got to build one now if you don't already have one. And finally, creator communities last. Viral vanishes. And I think you can tell this is where I've been leading the entire time. I can point to every single band that you could think of, whether it be the Grateful Dead or the Rolling Stones, or I'm trying to think, Earth, Wind and Fire. The Beatles, like whatever. The community around that band or those groups, the beehive, right? Every single one of these groups lasts even after the artist tends to fade away. Or maybe their biggest hit fades away. But the creative community sticks together even when the artist is no longer active. Creative communities last. So that's why you got to build one now. If you are in any kind of creative project, if you're stuck in that little kind of, I don't know if I should build this thing, guess what? You should build it with people, because the people will last longer than even the object that you build will. But if you start with just the thing, with the art piece and whatever, then you try to build around the art only, you're going to find yourself where it's more of a flash in the pan. And we don't want that. What we want are creative communities that last longer than we do. The Bible talks about counting the cost, making sure that you have what it needs, what their project needs to finish, what you need to finish. And honestly, some of us, we start and we can't finish because we didn't count the cost of building something that could last in terms of our creative life. So we get frustrated, we get mad because I did all this work and nobody liked it. Well, because you didn't try to create a community around it. You just created a thing and then you hoped people would like it, instead of creating a community first, where now no matter what you make, people can connect with it. And let me go back quickly. Remember that this doesn't work unless you have a mission around your art. If you have a mission, then people have something to connect with, and your talent that can help create the things that help amplify the mission of your art, of your creative life. But it doesn't replace it. Even if I didn't play piano, I would still want people to connect around shared experiences. That's my goal. My piano helps that happen. So as I said at the beginning, this is not about talent. People don't buy your music. They don't buy your art. They don't buy that. That's priceless. What they buy is the experience and things that you make possible through your art. And that is why you need a community, so that people can share in that experience. My friend, thank you for watching this episode. If that blessed you, you got to make sure that you stay connected with this community and this channel so that you can get more where that came from. We're sharing great interviews, tactics, strategies, mindsets, lifestyle choices. Everything is going to help you become a totally confident creative. And don't miss an episode of the God and Gig Show. If you are staying connected to our channel, you'll be able to find us anytime we release new episodes. And you can check out some of our archives of almost 200 episodes now that we've shared over the last few years. Make sure you check out one of the suggestions right now, because it's probably perfect for you to continue to develop as a creative. And continue to stay connected with us, because we're here to help you become the creative that God created you to be. We'll see you in the next episode.